the morning.
Good morning, New York.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day.
It is. It is. Did you do anything fun over the weekend, Angie?
Actually, this weekend I went to a really great barbecue with my family.
Perfect weather for
nice.
that.
It was amazing. How was your weekend?
It was really nice. Spent some time with my family as well. So off air, Angie and I have talked a little bit about a little boy in my daughter's class who has Tourette Syndrome. And she comes home daily with questions, and I bring them up to Angie all the time. And I decided to do a little research to help me better understand this disability so I can help my daughter understand it.
Definitely. And actually, we have a very special guest today who just wrote a book about this. Let's go ahead and bring him out. Dr. Philip Cox.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us today.
Appreciate that.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So, I love the show. You guys have been doing it for quite a while, and it's just a lot of fun. So, I was really excited to get the call and make the trip up here.
Great.
Well,
We're
thank you
so
so much.
happy to have you with us this
Yeah.
morning.
Tell us a little bit about your book. What's it called?
Well, it is Tourette's. It's not what you effing think.
Okay.
But there's...
I love the title.
Thank you. And I'm hoping that it's going to grab some attention and
Definitely.
hopefully raise some awareness.
I think it will. Wonderful. Can you give us a little overview about Tourette's? We're both trying to learn about this, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Tourette's, or TS, as it's abbreviated, is generally it's found in children. It's a neuropsychiatric disorder that exhibits what you might call strange behaviors. They'll have involuntary movements or outbursts.
Okay, are those called tics? Is that right?
That's correct. You have been doing some research. Tics is just the shorthand name for any involuntary action that they take, either verbal or motor.
Okay.
Oh, so it can be motor.
Yeah.
I know some of us, when we think of Tourette's, we just think of the person just randomly shouting out cuss words, but that's not the case.
No, despite what you see in the media, it does happen. Those are just kind of the worst case scenarios. Less than 15%, usually 10 to 15% of people with Tourette's will exhibit these extreme verbal outbursts where they just happen to say the worst things in the situation as possible.
Okay.
Oh.
So, for example, there's one girl that I've worked with who every time she goes to the airport just starts yelling, "I've got a bomb." You know, she can't help it. She doesn't want to. It's just what she does.
Wow.
So, what other kind of tics are there besides these, like the verbal tics?
Yeah, much more common are just the motor tics. Shrugging of shoulders, maybe involuntary blinking of the eyes. Some things that can go relatively unnoticed are on the mild end. The more extreme cases, even of the motor ones, there can be the flailing of arms, they can punch themselves in the face, just all stuff that they can't control.
So can these tics change over time then?
Yes, and something that most people don't realize, I think, is that the symptoms actually gradually decrease as their age increases. Into early adulthood, sometimes they can almost go away entirely.
Oh. So, is there a treatment or a cure for Tourette syndrome?
There is not. While the symptoms do sometimes tend to fade out, the disorder, it in effect never goes away. It's just something that they're going to have for the rest of their life. There are ways to deal with it, though.
Okay.
So, for example, Alicia's daughter, she has this young man in the classroom. What are some things that you can tell us about how maybe like a teacher can deal with a student that has Tourette syndrome?
That's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. The main thing is just to raise awareness of Tourette syndrome in the classroom itself, because the less people know about it, the more they tend to react in the wrong ways.
Okay.
So the teacher can just, the first and foremost would just be to foster an environment where everyone kind of knows what's going on and it's not looked down upon by the peers or the teacher. Also, they can do things to reduce stress, put the child in a preferential seating so that maybe if the child likes to be in the back of the class, have them be in the back of the class so that their outbursts aren't noticed so much and drawing the attention. Anything that the teacher can do to reduce stress, because stress and anxiety increases the frequency of the tics.
Okay, very good.
What are some common education-related difficulties then that some of the kids might experience?
Absolutely. These in some of the worst scenarios, the students will have trouble just because their tics will prevent them from being able to write and keep up. Like if the teacher's giving a lecture and they're supposed to be taking notes, if their hands are jerking every few seconds, they can fall behind in the notes, and so that's no good. Also, if they have to do like presentations or something like that, and they get up in front of the class, their anxiety increases. It's going to increase the amount of tics that they do and the severity of the tics.
Okay, so it seems like there's a lot of accommodations or modifications that can be seen in the classroom for a child with TS.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said before, just anything they can do to reduce the stress. One strategy I know that a teacher back in my home city uses is whenever they're doing a presentation in front of the class, they allow this student to record their presentation at home where they're in, their most comfortable environment, and then they can just play the video instead of standing in front of the class and displaying it.
Excellent. So you've mentioned quite a few times like the symptoms get better over time. So is this just a child onset disability?
Yes. In fact, in order for it to be diagnosed as Tourette's, the signs have to begin appearing before the age of 18. They have to have them for at least a year before 18. Now, people can have these involuntary motions and stuff and not actually be Tourette's. It'll be just diagnosed as other involuntary motor disorders.
Okay. And what other disabilities can be associated with Tourette's?
Oh, that's a good one. A lot of times the symptoms themselves are not noticed because children will often show signs of obsessive compulsive disorder as well as hyperactive disorder, ADHD.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yes, it is. This is going to answer a lot of questions for my daughter. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, we appreciate you coming on today, Dr. Cox.
It's been my pleasure.
Yes, I cannot wait to read your book.
Oh, you'll both get signed copies.
And
wonderful.
We have a surprise for the audience.
Hey.
You are all getting a book today.
Take it home. Tourette's, it's not what you effing think.
Hey, will you do me?
What?
Come on, will you do me?
No.
What? I do you.
What are you talking about, man?
Alright, you know what? Fine. I'm gonna just do both of us. Hang on a second.
Mountain Dew. The urge just can't wait.
Do you or someone you know suffer from debilitating involuntary muscle spasms? Finasteride has been known to reduce stress and cause calmness in extremities. Ask your doctor if finasteride is right for you. Common side effects include warmth or redness in the face or chest, stiffening of muscles, nausea, soreness of hair, deja vu, or fervent punctuality.
And you know, doctor, I really do think that we're having some breakthroughs here. I mean, it helps to realize that in 3rd grade, all the girls are bigger than the boys, so I shouldn't be ashamed. I mean, I really shouldn't be ashamed at getting beat up by a girl, but when everyone's pointing at me and laughing, and the girls are just picking on me, I really wish that my girlfriend would just understand that even when we're just playing around, I don't like her to hit me. Do you think that that could be the root of my problem?
Dr. Pepper. Thirst quenching, not problem solving.
Welcome back, guys.
Yes, welcome back, and we are still here with Dr. Philip Cox giving us his insight on Tourette Syndrome.
Yes.
Right, and over the break we were talking a little bit about risk factors. Can you kind of elaborate on that for us?
Absolutely. It's probably a little more common than you might think. Roughly 1 in 160 children are diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, which works out to be about less than half than 1%, but still it shows up quite a bit. In a typical school, I mean, you've got several hundred kids. There's a good chance that there's one or two at the school. With the risk factors, more research is needed. But as of right now, it's looking like it's definitely a genetic disorder, something that's passed on. It's much more common to see within the families.
Okay. Do like more boys have this? More girls? Is it?
It is slanted slightly towards the boys.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll definitely see it more with the little boys and the little girls.
Interesting.
We were talking also over the break, something that I wanted to mention just for our viewers at home. I kind of briefly mentioned ways to tackle it in the classroom, but one thing I didn't mention is that we're seeing a huge upsurge in just technology in the classroom, and this could be a huge help for kids with Tourette's. Simple devices, iPads, some kids have Chromebooks. They can use those to record the lectures so that they don't fall behind while they're taking notes, and then they can listen to them later at their convenience. When they're typing or writing their papers, that can get really kind of tiresome for them if they're having their tics affect it. And so the voice-to-text applications that you're seeing a lot more in word processors is really helpful for them to actually write down any reports that they might have.
And I believe that Dr. Cox brought a clip along with him to share with us.
I did. It's of a 15-year-old friend of mine with Tourette's. She's actually a big fan of your guys's and has decided to try her own hand at interviewing. That she has actually gone out and interviewed other students with Tourette's and just talks about their various tics and stuff. So kind of an homage to you guys since she knew I was going to be on the show.
Well,
Well, let's watch that.
Yes.
What tics do you have?
What tics do I have?
Did you have?
Did I have in all my years of having Tourette's?
Or do now?
Okay.
What kind of tics do you have?
My worst one right now is I go like that a lot.
Yeah, I blink a lot too.
And then like roll my eyes back.
I hum.
That's a new tic.
I move my nose and mouth.
And I go like this with my hands when I'm nervous.
Yeah, I shake.
I'm moving my eyes up, it gives me a headache. Also shaking my head, doing this, that's 3. Bending down, 4. Making vocal tics like ooh and ooh, that's 6.
Gonna get the nipple rubbing tic out of the way now.
You serious?
The cursing tics are really bad. This, that's 8. And it just comes out. And I don't want it to happen.
When I'm eating, I hum as I eat things.
No, there's only 9, but I forget the 9th one. And I feel so bad that I have to do that. Out loud. Oh yeah, this is my 10th tic, like doing this.
I twirl my head around like this.
There's so many.
And I play with my fingers.
Last year, this new tic happened, and it was like a fire alarm. It was so loud.
What was it?
Want me to do it? Okay. That was non-stop. Like every second in school.
They're getting worse and worse. I'm getting more, and I just don't really like it.
Thank you, Dr. Cox, for sharing that with us.
Oh yeah, she'll be super excited to see it on the show later on. There is one thing I wanted to mention that I have neglected so far, and the clip just reminded me. One of the ways that therapists are working with students with Tourette's to help them handle and manage these tics is to they do what's called counter action training, where if the student, say for example, has a tic where they touch their head or involuntarily jerk their arm, whenever they feel that coming on, they intentionally will put their hands like on their knees or something like that goes against what the tic is.
Okay. Very interesting.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Cox. We really appreciate it.
Yes, yes. You have given us so much insight on Tourette's. I feel like I can really help my daughter better understand this from now on.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure. And if your daughter has any more questions that maybe I didn't address today, have her to send me a letter. And I'll send her a reply back with anything that she needs to know.
Thank you, Dr. Cox.
Great.
Incredible. Alrighty, folks. Well, I hope you enjoyed your morning with us. We always enjoy our time with you. And until next time,
Have a good day, guys.